Good afternoon, everyone. I am Andrea di Mira, and I work at European Space Operations Center in Germany, in Darmstadt. And today I would like to present on behalf of the Space Safety Program from ESA and also several industries, entities in Europe, the concept of laser momentum transfer for orbital maintenance. What I would cover today is just a brief introduction on the concept. What are the first steps and studies that ESA injected on laser momentum transfer, and just an overview of some subsystems for the onlet engineering stations. And then I will conclude my talk with some final let's say, with an outlook, basically, in summary. So, as already discussed in many talks today, we are all aware that the population of debris in orbit is increasing. I reported here some statistics from basically from DiscusWeb on the number of objects. I don't need to read all the details here, but the key message is we have a lot of objects, and so it's important to find mitigation strategies, and the trend is increasing, basically. So what could we do? Because the impact on active satellites is also quite strong. There is an increasing number of conjunction warnings, and also the risk is amplified by events, fragmentation events, and the increasing number of large constellations. This results in an increase in the number of collision avoidance maneuvers that are expensive in terms of overhead and limit the available lifetime of our satellites. So one possible step to improve the situation is to better monitor, better characterize objects. And there have been some already mentioned today, some techniques we could exploit, focusing on the ground today, basically radar, passive detection via optical telescopes, but also laser ranging. Laser ranging is a well-established technique that enables millimeter-level accuracy in orbit determination. And basically, there are several laser ranging stations, and this one that you see on the slide is an example of a robotic station complex deployed on Tenerife with the recently integrated high-power transmitter Itzania 2. So this is Itzania 1 and Itzania 2 systems from ESA. And both together are able to track space debris, basically, non-cooperative targets. But as a step further, we could consider ground-based laser technology also for imparting momentum. So for slightly modifying orbits for those objects that are predicted to be in conjunction with an active satellite. So the idea is to illuminate space debris with high power or high energy laser in order to modify their orbit and increase the missed distance between an active satellite and a debris. There are two main mechanisms that could be exploited. Ablation, which consists in transmitting high energetic pulses in the order of 10 or 20 kilojoule per pulse in order to generate basically an injection of material and a recoil momentum, which is very effective, but also, we believe, still not well controllable from ground. Therefore, we focus also on photon pressure, which is based on applying tiny pushes, exploiting photon absorption and reflection from the targets. And this, if applied several, let's say, few revolutions before a collision, this could basically replace a collision avoidance maneuver from active satellite using onboard fuel. So you see also a kind of a business case. Indeed, ESA space safety program is focusing on the establishment of services for ephemeris provision and collision avoidance, replacing expensive maneuvers. Now, there have been a few activities from ESA. The first step in this direction was a few years ago, the laser ranging and momentum transfer systems evolution study primed from DLR. In this study, the feasibility of this concept was analyzed. It was a comprehensive activity focusing on a subset of the population in LEO with specific orbits and specific characteristics, a population of 9,000 object roughly, and basically they considered also the debris population modeling, laser propagation through the atmosphere, networks, and operational constraints. I report here a paper which summarizes very well the study from DLR and what was the outcome there. One of the key messages is that it is feasible, according to the simulations executed in the frame of this activity, to slightly modify, imparting basically velocity changes to the debris in the order of 10 micrometers per second to most of the objects selected. And this was quite interesting, as this shows the feasibility of the concept and allows us also to design a ground station that could potentially meet this requirement. Indeed, ground station could be based on a source of a high power and exploiting also beam combining techniques and exploiting turbine technology. Also heavily dependent on adaptive optics in order to improve and to correct the effects of the atmospheric turbulence while propagating. The beam gets distorted, and therefore this system would be based on a large telescope of 2.5 meters diameter and a specific adaptive optics solution based on two loops for the pre-compensation of the uplink and at the same time for improving basically the signal, the sunlight reflected from the debris to measure tip tilt and also to reduce the tracking accuracy to 0.1 arc seconds. So as a next step, ESA then initiated last year in 2024 the OMLET activity. OMLET stands for Orbital Maintenance via Laser Momentum Transfer. We also identified a mission statement for this, which consists in monitoring with high accuracy and modifying basically the debris trajectories using high power lasers from ground, and in order to have a safer environment in orbit and also to save costs, as I mentioned before, as a potential alternative. Between the main objectives of this study, we focus on currently on the station requirements, which we flow down to subsystems, the elaboration of a preliminary concept design, and then also some critical gaps that we need to cover in the next phase. Indeed, we are preparing for the next phase of this activity, phase B2, and this is a hot topic in the agency currently. After the ministerial, we are writing basically a proposal for the program. This is the consortium of OMLET. It's, as I mentioned, several very valuable industries in Europe are involved, and also DLR primes the activity for studying the different subsystems. And just to show a few highlights about a potential omelet engineering station, a laser source could be based on, since there is no mode laser at 50 kilowatt, we are looking at potential techniques to combine the output of single mode fibers, exploiting wavelength and polarization and coherent combination. The transmitter would be based on, let's say, a solution that is able to also integrate adaptive optics, interfaceable with the high-power laser beam provided by laser source. The idea is to also focus on a target and dynamically adjust the focus while tracking, while engaging with the debris. And there is basically a trade-off between the number of laser channels that we would combine, the size of the spot on target, and therefore we are looking at different potential alternatives. And the main ones are basically using a single transmitter, which could be used also as a receiver, 2.5 meters according to the Lara Motions approach, but also looking into multiple transmitters like what ESA developed in the frame of deep space optical communication demonstration last July and August for the joint ESA-NASA demonstration with Psyche. You see the ground laser transmitter deployed in Greece. Okay, other subsystems involve the adaptive optics, which is a quite key component to improve, to apply a pre-compensation of the uplink laser. We need to develop such a system at multi-kilowatt level. We need to pre-compensate high power beams. Therefore, we have a team fully dedicated to develop a prototype high-power deformable mirror, but also other subsystems of the adaptive optics loop. There is the idea also to check whether such a high-power mirror could be placed in the telescope as a secondary. We are still working on that with industry, and we will prepare the next steps also for the phase B2. Also, maneuvers need to be monitored. We want to be able to control the maneuvers and have some sort of feedback. And therefore, we use optical search and guidance and monitoring system, which could be based on passive detection, laser ranging, and light curve measurements. And you see, again, the example of Vitsania, but we are also checking other ways to have co-located station able to perform space debris laser ranging in parallel with omelet engineering station. And last but not least, once we're already looking at possibilities to verify such a system in laboratory experiments, where we basically want to confirm the theory with the actual results from the photon pressure and the laser matter interaction. So there is a setup at High Lays, which is currently being used to measure the momentum transfer and basically verify how well the theory matches the results in terms of displacement and also thermal behavior of the sample. There are several materials considered, solar cells, aluminum, MLI, titanium objects, because the population is very large. We couldn't really have a lot of, let's say, test cases for this, but we will continue in order to improve the models and also our confidence. And also, one day we will also validate this in orbit, and therefore, separated from omelet, there was also another activity primed by GMV for in-orbit verification. So based on a formation of two satellites, one acts as a target from ground, and the other satellite is basically used to check what is the effect on the other satellites, which is being illuminated. Such a satellite could also be used to characterize the adaptive optics system of the Omelette engineering station. There are also in parallel other activities to consider basically the effects of specular back reflections from irradiated debris, the thermal stability of the engaged objects, and nonlinear effects like thermal blooming when we propagate 40, 50 kilowatt of laser light through the atmosphere to illuminate a debris in LEO. Also, we want to integrate one day the Omelette engineering station to the networks of space debris laser ranging and also the end users, the satellite operators. So the concept of operation, together also with the legal issues, the regulatory aspects, and the export control, all these aspects have been considered, and we are focusing on maturing the solution we have. So this brings me to the end of my presentation, and yeah, I gave an overview of what ESA and European partners are focusing on for ground-based laser momentum transfer, and yeah, sooner or I mean in the near future we will have also a conceptual architecture of the Omelette engineering station, and ESA is currently preparing for the next step, basically the phase B2 of this activity. Thank you very much.